Hi F2Ps, it's Goodfellow here from f2p.com, and today we are checking out Call of War from Bitro Labs. It is a World War II free-to-play browser-based strategy. In it, you command your own country. Every player on the server will have a country that they start out as, and here is the overall map. So you've got Europe, and you've even got Canada, North America. So that's the extent of what we're looking at. So no Pacific, but that'd be a pretty big map. And essentially, it is a domination game. Players will compete against each other in PvP. It's pretty much PvP focused to earn victory points to try and win the round. And rounds are broken down into a number of days, but we will go through that bit by bit. So, like I said, free to play, browser based, and once you sign up, you are randomly assigned a country. Completely, as far as I'm aware, it's completely random. Don't know that it's based on anything particular. We tried signing up twice. Once we started off as Turkey, which I don't know. We've got Turkey there, so I'm guessing around their area. I don't know. And then the second time round, on an account that we've been provided, when we logged in, it gave us Sweden. So you can see that different countries start with a different number of provinces. I don't know whether this would be a tactical advantage having more, because having more um, territories obviously means you can build more things, but it also means you have a greater upkeep. So I think potentially sometimes having a smaller starting location, such as Switzerland, could be more beneficial in comparison to somebody starting out with France, which, as you can see, quite a lot. Sweden, we're kind of not doing too bad ourselves with the number of territories we've got, and each territory you can tell by kind of where all these cross-section points fall in, where they join up onto these little dots. So they're kind of your main cities. Linköping, I've been there before. Interesting. And so yeah, um, I am currently the Prime Minister of Sweden, and small tutorial when you start basically tells you how to build, how to construct units, how to move units, and that's about it. There's plenty of information window pop-ups to help guide you through the game. It's not overly complex. It is quite strategical. So there's definitely a lot to think about. So we'll kind of break it down, I guess. So we'll start with we'll start over here. Okay, so this is one of our territories. We've got Karlstad, and Karlstad. I can click the territory. It highlights which territory this is currently under my control, and this is showing you the buildings that are currently in Karlstad, what I'm currently constructing, what I'm currently producing, any spies I've got, and I can set it as a rally point. Shows me the productivity per day, so yeah, pretty overall kind of general information overview for each territory that I control. One of the interesting things with the game is that there is a morale system. So if your morale drops extremely low, whether from being attacked or not having any units stationed there, so they feel unprotected, then there's the possibility of your town revolting against you. And obviously, enemy players, there's espionage. You see, we've got an espionage tab here. You can do things like trying to lower morale and sabotage and all that kind of good stuff. But we'll have a look over that in a moment. So one of the things you can do with morale is there's various ways to increase it, but you can quickly increase it by spending gold. Now, thankfully, we were provided 200,000 gold, which is quite a lot. Please start with 5,000 gold. So we are kind of well ahead, which has allowed us to build some Swedish light tanks, and some infantry, and we've got some planes, obviously, that we built in comparison to our neighbours that just have the starting infantry, an armoured car. So this is the entirety of their army at the moment, which we've been able to reveal by, well, let's see, I'll show you the espionage. So spies, we've currently got no active spies, so what you can do, you can recruit a spy, which costs $15,000, and you have to pay spies per day. So I believe we currently have, let's have a look at our resources, what we're looking at money wise. Okay, so we've not actually got a lot of money left, we've only got 939, so we can't actually buy another spy now. Unless we can buy them with money, with gold. So let's have a look. Recruit. Okay, yeah, so because we've not got enough money, we can spend gold to buy the missing resources. So there you go, that's easy enough for us. So we've now got an active spy in our hands. And what we can do, we can click the enemy. Got various options, so we can reveal all their armies, which costs gold. So this is like instant actions, or you can dispatch a spy and they can perform these actions, but it takes obviously quite a long time to do it. And I'm not entirely sure, but I can only presume that whilst I've got 3 options here for the dispatch spies as opposed to the instant stuff here, this may be down to the research that I have yet to unlock for espionage. But anyway, so we can damage upgrade. So military sabotage, damage a building in this province, but never the capital. We can destroy resources, type economic sabotage, destroy parts of today's resource production of this province. So lots of kind of crummy things that you can do to your rivals. Country information, reveal armies. So yeah, so we revealed all the armies, and that's basically revealed everything. So kind of forces wise, we greatly outnumber them. But again, they've not got any allies, any enemies or rivals. I guess you're only an enemy if you make yourself an enemy. And you know, we're the only country that borders them. Although you can cross over the water, the UK could quite easily go and attack Norway if they wished. So again, there's kind of advantages and disadvantages of being somewhere like, you know, being Budapest. Then you know, you've kind of got quite a few different fronts you could potentially be fighting on. So again, different tactics that would need to be employed depending on where you start. So yeah, so that's kind of our option. So we can send them off. So let's. I mean, I don't know if we can do anything in particular. Yeah, okay. So if we click them, and let's say we want to go and do a damage upgrade. There you go. Instant done. And I think, can we keep doing it? Wow. I guess because they're an active spy, once they do it, they yeah, so it just keeps going up every time by 5. Wow, this which is a shame because this is probably a real player. So we've just got like 200,000 gold and just going steaming them in. But hey, we're showing you how it works. So sorry, whoever you are. So that's kind of the espionage and the morale system, and kind of checking out the territories as well. When you do click a place, it shows you here as well what's the kind of primary terrain. So you've got forests, you've got hills, you have plains, and you obviously have urban for your city areas. So some smaller, your main cities are basically their own terrain location, and different units have different effects within different terrains. So armor don't do particularly well in urban, but they do really well out on the plains, and that's kind of the opposite for the infantry. Very good within the cities, urban areas, but struggle being caught out in the open. So when it comes to production, there's a few different processes. First and foremost, we've got research. So we have to actually research new technologies. Now, in hindsight, I could have left something to research so that I could show you, but I didn't. But But essentially what you do, you click the research you want to research, and then you can start researching it, and it will take however long it takes. So with Infantry 2, it will take a full day to research. You can, and it also costs resources as well. But you can spend gold again to speed up the research process. Now we are currently on day 2 of this map, and I'm presuming the maps fill up and kind of create randomly new maps as new players join them. So we are currently on day 2, which means we can't actually train any of these new research technologies. So this is day 1. These can only be trained on day 8. So it does kind of really tier and kind of gate the progression and how powerful players can get how quickly. So you can't get a level 4 armored car until day 36. That's like a month of playing, and kind of by that point, it kind of, I guess after 36 days, it's going to be taking you closer to the end game. I'm not sure how long rounds typically last, but it keeps ramping up, and then the longer you've been playing, the more powerful the units that you can get. So I guess battles are resolved quicker, enemies and players start dropping quicker. But essentially, you unlock researches and it unlock technologies, and then it tells you what it's going to allow you to produce. So commandos and units, infantry units. Whereas with this technology, we get armored car level 2. We've got some. What's that? What's telling me? That is anti-tank. So anti-tank, anti-air, etc., etc. So that's how your research works. Once you've built the research, and we'll go into a place that we've not built anything. So we've not built anything over here yet. So in Uppsala, we would go to here. We can click the construction, and we've got the various buildings and then the units that we want. The secret stuff is kind of like hardcore, quite expensive as well. But you need higher level researches than we've got access to. So you'll see there's a build queue. You only have access to that if you have the high command, I think. Yeah. So high command is the premium account, I guess. I think it's just over £5 for 31 days, or like 25 for. I think it was something weird, like 186 days. It was just a weird number. So yeah, so you can queue stuff. If you don't have a high command, you can't. In which case, you can only build one thing at a time, which means you have to be more hands-on with your micromanagement. Fortunately, we don't need to worry about that because we have all our gold. Although we're kind of severely depleted now, so we'll see how it goes. But I tell you, we're gonna go for. Yeah, we'll go in Stockholm. And so that's currently producing some units, but I can speed that up by spending cash. Boom, done. So construction, what I want to do, I'm going to create a naval base here. And so I've got various options. I'm not necessarily sure whether there's anything that does sea to land attacks, but I believe they can transport units and stuff like that. But for now, we're not going to go into the depth of it. If I wanted to create a destroyer, which is good for getting submarines, I believe, then I need a naval base level 1. So I would go to buildings, and I would go to naval base level 1. As you can see, there's not a massive amount of buildings that you need to construct, and you probably can unlock more through the research tab for specific stuff, but realistically, you don't have to worry that much about it. It is kind of focusing more on building your units and your army. But anyway, so we're going to choose the location for the naval base. Note this upgrade can only be built once per province. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I wanted to build it in Stockholm. Interesting. I've not seen this before. So okay, we'll try that again. Construction, naval base. Why is it doing that then? The resource, no, I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, let's try it in somewhere else then. Let's try it back in Uppsala. Construction, naval base. There we go. Interesting. Okay, so obviously, again, because I'm missing quite a lot of the resources, I would have to buy them with gold, and then I can speed up the production, and it's done. So I've now got Naval Base 1. Because of that, I can construct. These are two are kind of highlighted now, and I can buy the resources I need. Because obviously we're quite behind, and then speed up the production. There we go. And obviously, it's to spend gold so freely like that. You wouldn't do it if you'd spent all your money, all your own money on getting gold. But yeah, so with these guys, they kind of plot themselves wherever you want to go. So I don't know, maybe I can attack them. This may provoke an undeclared war and harm our reputation. Your army is passing through territory of Estonia. Let's go for it. Let's go and attack them. So there you go. So that's telling me current position in the Gulf of Bothnia. It's going to the Gulf of Finland. Travel time 3 hours and 34 minutes. So obviously it takes quite a while. I can force march it, which reduces the morale of the troop. But with gold, I could essentially. That's probably one of the better uses for gold. So maybe force march your units to a place and then make sure their morale is top notch by the time they get there. But that will increase the speed by 50%. For a penalty of 5 morale points per hour. So as this is going to take, how long did we say? It's going to take 2, well, so it's going to take 2 hours, so yeah, they'll lose 10 morale points. But obviously we're not going to be sticking around to see that because that's going to take forever. And that's kind of one of the things, it does take quite a while to do stuff. So I've got these guys, so he's doing an attack run on this location here. That's why my spy is over there. We've got these guys that are marching into Norway, going over the border, so they're going to be attacking these guys. And so, one of the kind of key things to determine when it comes to your strategy is not only who you're going to attack or when, but also where. So, like we said before, we've got the different terrains. So, the infantry probably have a bit of an advantage. I'm not entirely sure how their advantage works at the moment. But so you'd be better off kind of catching out some units out in the open when you see them traveling, when they're moving around. See, this guy is obviously moving straight through here, so we've got no real advantage point because the terrain's pretty much the same. Whereas, this unit, if he was if he was moving from Bergen and was heading over to, is that Oslo? Yeah. So if he was moving there, we might think, okay, well, he's more vulnerable whilst he's in the plane, so we'll get our attack to hit him before he reaches this area. But also, you kind of need to determine why you want to attack a province. Now, each province or territory gives ongoing resources, and they typically give, I think it's manpower and money for the most part. But as you see, when I hover over my resources tab, it highlights everything around here over each province. Now, you'll see next to some of them, so let's kind of float around here. Obviously, when I come off it, it's kind of removing it, so we'll float around this area. This is what I'm going to be talking about. So Stockholm, you'll see that it's got the little crates next to it, so that province constantly provides goods. Sorry, I think that's what they're called. Yeah, goods. Sorry. Whereas Uppsala, that's constantly providing rare metals, I think it is. But you can see that some of the places, and not all of them, some of the places have a little star and a circle and a number next to it. That tells you how many victory points you get each day for controlling that particular territory. And that's the key part of the game. So that's probably going to be kind of pretty important with some of the smaller places. Not so much, I guess. So yeah, Denmark only has three victory points to its name. So I think starting as Denmark's probably pretty difficult. I mean, Germany, you're kind of gonna stay ahead because you've got loads of victory points. You've got quite a lot of resources. But again, people can attack you from different points, so you're going to be spread quite thin if everybody decides early on, let's take out the Germans. So the victory points are kind of the key to ultimate victory, and you can create alliances with the players, which I guess, pools all um, your victory points. But you can monitor what is going on the server in the world, with the world map. Sorry, the World Herald, the newspaper, and you can check each day. So we're on day 2, and this is what's happened. So it's kind of giving me some information about what's been built in Sweden. Perfidious acts of war. Without warning, Ulster-Review's troops opened fire on the unexpecting soldiers of Thorvald Stauning. Leaders in the whole world are appalled by the ruthless actions. Casualties since the beginning of this war: Denmark 999, Sweden none. So there you go. So it's kind of letting everybody know, keep your eye out on Sweden because they're warmongers. And there you go. So this is showing you the index of nations. So how many victory points players have got. So these are still presumably controlled by the AI because they've not got a player in there. So we've still got 2 players to jump in. And I'm gonna guess that this symbol means that a player has the high command premium. So right now you can kind of get an overview of the position and where we. So there you go. We're not doing too bad. We're at rank 7, which is kind of unfair, but there you go. And that is just purely based off where we started. We've got a lot of command points for our territory. And so yeah, but you can write an article. So you can um, um, all shall die. Sweden shall take no prisoners. The entire world shall bow at our feet. There you go. And there you go. If you're a premium member, you can add an image. So it's pretty cool. There you go. So that's been put there for everyone else to see. I don't know. I'm kind of making a point that you should all probably attack me. So there you go. So that's kind of gives you a constant overview of what's going on around the world, who's at war, and as we saw with that kind of click before, when you click a country, it's going to open up the diplomacy option. So we've already had some messages and trades. Estonia and Hungary have both asked if we will give them gold for crops, food. I guess it just be food. But right now, we're on quite a lot of crops, so probably wouldn't be worth us giving them our gold. But that said, we're gonna accept it. Hand out some of the gold because we're not going to be using it. So there we go. So we can check all the different players, who we're at peace with, who we're at war with. We're at war with Norway, Denmark, and we're not at war with. I think it was Finland was the last place we attacked, maybe. Obviously we've attacked them, but until the attack actually happens, we have successfully attacked Norway and Denmark previously. So we can propose peace, trade embargo, peace, right of way, share map. We can send them messages. So Hungary has sent us messages. There's been communications between us and them. So there you go. Kind of shows the status of what's going on. Are you sure declaring war may harm your reputation? So we could go to United Kingdom and say, hey there guys, do you want to share the map? And then, yeah, there you go, stuff happens. So info, what does the info page do? Okay, so it's just giving us an idea. So we're all pretty newbie. We're all kind of low levels. So that's the newspaper, and yeah, so you got your province list here. This is just your general overview of what's going on with your buildings, what buildings you've got, and what you're constructing, and then your general build queue. But again, you need the high command for that. And that is essentially, I think, the nuts and bolts of the game. Is a resource gathering war strategy, and I feel that I've kind of imbalanced it by appearing as a pretty big place. I can essentially just build a load of units so that my guys are pretty strong passively and just kind of sticking around, give people something to fight over. But I think we'll just leave them to it. So yeah, quite an interesting game. I think it would be. Oh my god, I think starting as the USSR would be extremely interesting. Oh, let's see what their armies look like then. If we can build, oh no, we can't. Oh yeah, we can build another spy. Of course we can. Okay, oh we've got a spy. Okay. Well, I want to go and check out Novgorod, and then we are going to reveal all their armies, reveal all their country information. So let's have a look what their armies look like. So yeah, so I guess you start with at least one unit in each province you own. Oh, not necessarily. So keeping hold of this territory would be extremely difficult. I mean, this is a lot, but pretty fun. Definitely pretty fun. And you'd have an advantage. I mean, if kind of like some of the main larger countries and nations kind of worked together, then I think it would definitely be a struggle for some of the lower nations. But that's all part and parcel of it, and that's all kind of trying to use diplomacy to get what you want. So anyway, there you go. That was a general overview. Unfortunately, the combat and the pace is a little bit slow, so you don't really see that much of it. Unfortunately, but I think it gives you a general idea of what you can expect with the game. So hopefully you found it entertaining and informative and interesting. If you did, then please give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and you will be informed about any new videos that we put on as and when we put them up. We put new stuff up all the time with closed beta, alpha, and reviews, all that good stuff. You can also check us out on Facebook and Twitter at f2p.com, or check out our official website at f2p.com, where as well as videos and reviews, we have lots of news and giveaways and other articles and all that good stuff. So once again, thank you guys for watching. I have been Goodfellow. This has been Call of War. You have been you, and hopefully we shall see you in the next video. Bye bye.